Hey guys, welcome back to One Stop Biology. So today we are going to start off with a new chapter, which is the chapter 7 of class 11th biology NCERT. And that chapter is all about animal tissues. It is structural organization in animals. So guys, we have so quickly finished in almost, a month and a half. We have finished 6 chapters of class 11th. So let's start with animal tissues today. And let me tell you before I start off with the chapter that if you have any doubt at any point of time, please do let me know. And your feedback is very important. So, whether you understand the chapter or not, please do like the video if you do understand the chapter. And please do not forget to message me in the comment section whether you understood the chapter or if you have any doubts. So, let's start with animal tissues. Now, what exactly are tissues? So as we know that, the human body is composed of billions of cells which perform various functions. And now how these cells, in the body work together. So in what happens in multicellular animals, that a group of similar cells along with intercellular substances. So what I'm saying is a group of similar cells along with intercellular substances. They perform a specific function, right? And this organization is known as a tissue. These group of cells which perform similar function or a specific function are known as tissues, right? So, what exactly are animal tissues? Basically, these tissues are organized in specific proportion and pattern to form an organ. So, from a tissue, we form an organ, and then we form an organ system. Right. So organs like stomach, lung, heart, and kidney, basically these are tissues itself which are organized in specific proportion and pattern to function to perform a specific function. Now, when two or more organs perform a common function, we call them as an organ system, right? So basically, in the case of animal tissues, what happens is the structure of cells vary according to their function. So basically, uh, the tissues are different, and they are classified into four types. The first one is epithelial tissue. The first one is epithelial tissue. The second one is connective tissue. The third one is muscle or muscular tissue. And the fourth one is neural tissue. So there are four different types of tissues on the basis of their structure and function. This is in the case of animal tissues. So in today's video, we are going to study all about the first one, which is the epithelial tissue, right? So let's start with the epithelial tissue first. Right. So if we talk about the epithelial tissue, it comes from the word epithelium, right? Now, this tissue basically has a free surface and it either faces a body fluid or the outside environment. So basically, the outermost layer of our body is made up of epithelial tissue. From one side, it is facing the environment, and from the other side, it is facing either a body, like a body fluid or something like that. And this provides a covering or a lining for some part of the body. Now, cells of epithelial tissues are compactly packed. So the cells are compactly packed and there is very little intercellular matrix. Now there are two types of epithelial tissues. One is simple epithelium and the other one is compound epithelium. So if I talk about the simple epithelium is composed of a single layer of cells. So there is a single layer of cells, right? And this functions as a lining for body cavity. So it functions as lining of body cavity. See here. Now, so it is composed of single layer of cells and this functions as a lining of body cavity, ducts and tubes. So it makes lining of the cavity, ducts and tubes. Now on the basis of the structural modification of cells, simple epithelium again can be further divided into three types, right? So the first one is squamous epithelium. So basically these are three types. First is squamous epithelium. Second one is cuboidal epithelium. And third one is columnar epithelium. Right. So in the case of squamous epithelium, it is made up of single thin layer of flattened cells. Remember, it is made up of single thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. Now, they are found in the wall of blood vessels and air sac of lungs, and it is involved in functions like forming a diffusion boundary. So, as we know that there is exchange of gases in the case of air sacs in lungs, right? So, they function basically like forming a diffusion boundary. If you see here, this basically is a squamous epithelium, and if I have to label it, these are nothing but flattened cells, right? Now, the second one is cuboidal epithelium. So basically, you will basically understand the structure with the name itself. So cuboidal epithelium is nothing but single layer of cube-like cells. So these are cube-like cells. Now, basically, these are commonly found in ducts of glands and tubular part of nephron in kidney. So they're found in ducts of glands and then kidney in tubular part of nephron in kidney. And their main functions are secretion and absorption. So remember, the main function is secretion and absorption. Now, epithelium of proximal convoluted tubules. So when you'll study the structure of kidney, you study the structure of this as well. So the epithelium of proximal convoluted tubule of nephron has microvilli as well, right? So these are cuboidal. These are cube shaped. If you see this, these are cube shaped cells, right? So these are nothing but cube-like cells. These are cube-like cell. Now, the third one is columnar epithelium. Now, that is made up of tall and slender cell. Always remember that all these are single layer of cells, right? So these are single layer of tall and slender cells, column-like cells, right? Now, the second point is that you see the diagram, their nuclei are located at the base. So in this case, their nuclei are located at the base and their free surface, the free surface that we have may have microvilli as well. Now, where are these cells found? These cells are found in the lining of stomach and intestines, and again it helps in secretion and absorption. So it helps in secretion and absorption, and it is found in the lining of stomach and intestine, right? So if you see the diagram here, these are column-like cells, right? These are columnar cells. And if you see here that they have the nucleus towards the bottom. So either on the either end, basically. It's not in the center. So if you see here, these basically are nothing but tall cell, right? These are tall cells, right? Now, if the columnar or cuboidal cells bear cilia on their free surface, they are known as ciliated epithelium. So, if in the case of columnar or cuboidal epithelium, cilia are found on their free surface, they are known as ciliated epithelium. And their function is basically because the function of cilia or flagella is nothing but either to move that particular cell or to make movement in that part. So basically the function is to move particles or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. So here the function is to move what particles or mucus in a specific direction. Now these are mainly present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles or fallopian tubes. So these are basically present in the inner surface of hollow organs. Now if you see here, basically these are the cilia, and along with that you have tall cells, right? So this basically is ciliated simple epithelium, right? Now some of the columnar cells, remember that some of the columnar or cuboidal cells, they get specialized for secretion. What happens to them? They get specialized for secretions. And basically they are called as glandular epithelium. They are known as glandular epithelium. Yes, right. So these basically glandular epitheliums can be of two types. Either it can be unicellular or it can be multicellular. In the case of unicellular, they basically consist of isolated glandular cells. And in the case of multicellular, they have cluster of cells, right? Now, basically goblet cells of the alimentary canal. So these unicellular glandular cells are present in the alimentary canal. And these are what goblet cells of alimentary canal are nothing but unicellular glandular epithelium. And in the case of multicellular glandular epithelium, it is nothing but salivary glands, which produces saliva, right? Now, on the basis of mode of pouring of their secretions, glands can be divided into exocrine and endocrine glands, right? Now, exocrine glands basically secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, like milk, digestive enzymes, right? So all these things, and these products are released through ducts or tube. So remember this. Now, glandular cells are basically divided. These glands are divided into two categories on the basis of what they are secreting basically. Now these are exocrine and endocrine glands. The exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, milk, right? Digestive enzymes and all these products, and all these products are basically released through ducts or tubes. Now in contrast, the endocrine glands do not have what? They do not have ducts. Remember that endocrine glands do not have ducts. What do they secrete then? So basically, their products are called hormones, which are secreted directly into the fluid which is bathing the gland. So it is basically secreted directly into the fluid of the body. It is not secreted through any ducts or tubes. Now, the second type of epithelium that we saw was compound epithelium. So, this is all about the simple epithelium. Now, the compound epithelium is basically made up of more than one layer. So, the first difference is that it is multi-layered. It has multi-layers of cells, and that is why it has very limited role in secretion and absorption. It has very limited role in secretion and absorption. So, the main function of compound epithelium is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stress. So remember, compound epithelium gives protection against chemical and mechanical stress. It has very limited role in secretion and absorption. Now, what do they do basically? They cover the dry surface of the skin, right? The moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands and of pancreatic ducts. So they cover a lot of things, right? They cover dry surface of the skin, moist surface of buccal cavity. They cover the entire pharynx. They cover the inner lining of ducts of salivary glands and of pancreatic duct. So if you these see the structure here, first thing that you notice is that there is multiple layer of cells here, right? So these are nothing but multi-layered cells. Right? Now, all cells in epithelium will be held by something, right? Will be jointed by something, right? They cannot be present loose floating in the body, right? So all cells of epithelium are basically held together with little intercellular material. Now, what are these intercellular materials? So basically, in nearly all animals' tissues, there are specialized junctions as well, which provide structural and functional link between its individual cells, right? So there are junctions which provide structural and functional links between the individual cells. Now, there can be three types of junctions which are found in epithelium and other tissues. Now, what are these junctions? So, the first junction is tight junction. The second junction is adhering junction. And the third junction is gap junction. So the tight junction basically helps to stop substance from leaking across a tissue. So it makes the structure very, very tight and compact, as the name suggests. It's tight junction, right? So it helps to stop substance from leaking. What are adhering junctions? So the adhering junctions perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. So it adheres the neighboring cells together. And gap junctions facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjoining cells. So they connect the cytoplasm of the adjoining cells, and that helps in rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and sometimes big molecules as well. So all three junctions that we have studied have their own specific role in joining or adjoining different type of tissues and functioning in a specific way, right? So guys, this is all about the simple and compound epithelial tissues. This is all about the epithelium. In the next video, we are going to discuss the connective tissue. So I hope would have understood what generalized and specific role all these tissues play. Where are they found in the body? And guys, you should make a chart of all the tissues and where they are found and what function do they perform. And that will make it simpler for you to remember all the functionalities of these tissues. So I hope you understood the video very well. If you did, please do not forget to like the video and share it with your friends as much as you can. And if you have any doubt, please do not hesitate in sending in your doubts either in the comment section of the video, or you can also message your doubts on the WhatsApp number which is given in the description of the video. Thanks guys. Bye bye.